And welcome back to Great Scott Marcus, episode 26. I'm Scott, and that one's Mark, here on Ramble Entertainment, where we have kind of this breakout show where we have small conversations and then end the week with a large main topic. Mark, it's a hype train. What are you hyped for?
Actually, not hyped about much, but I've been getting a lot of hype about something.
Your penis?
Yes.
Nice.
You ever watch Shameless?
No.
I keep seeing it. It's been on Netflix for a while. I believe it's on Showtime. My mom yesterday, she called me, and I think she was talking about it for about 15 minutes solid.
Damn.
She's like, "Oh my God, it's so funny, it's so great!" And kind of got me
A
excited.
comedy?
Yeah, it's a comedy.
What kind of humor?
I don't know, but my mom and dad both like it, so it should be good. It's William H. Macy. He's like some drunk, and the family's falling apart. I guess, let's say it's kind of like Arrested Development, but on steroids kind of thing, I guess.
Arrested Development. I think
falling apart. One person kind of keep them all together.
I'd be interested to see what kind of humor it is, because I've been looking for a new comedy. However, a good example that you just kind of brought up, Arrested Development, is not my kind of humor.
I'm not comparing the humor qualities. I'm just saying maybe the plot overall is just
I figure,
you have a really kind of messed up family. I'm a lot of hype around that. I've been on social media, it keeps popping up randomly. Someone's just like, "Oh my God, I can't stop watching Shameless," and I'm like, all right, maybe I should give this show a whirl. So yeah, I guess I'm not really hyped about it, but it was just it was presented to me so many times over the past couple weeks. I'm like, there must be something about this show that I should probably check out. Aside from that, I guess I'm hyped for March to show up so it can be baseball season.
Man, that wasn't a lot of downtime.
Pitchers and catchers meet, I think, sometime in February.
All they gotta do is put in 2 more months, and then suddenly it's competing with NHL and NASCAR.
Exactly.
This oddly, this is my gaming season, is what I'm starting to notice. Over the past few years, between January and March, April, there seem to be more games coming out that I'm interested in than in the fall, where it's just shooters, and Assassin's Creed, which might be a shooter eventually, who knows. And so I feel I'm pretty hyped for a lot of games coming out. I started Final Fantasy 15, which was a huge goddamn mistake. I have let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 recordings left for State of the Frame and the 88th Armory Season 1. And I'm gonna have so much trouble doing this.
You're on Final Fantasy mode right now.
Oh my God! Last night, I was just I was like, okay, I should be able to get 2 recordings in, and I was just it got to be dinner, and I was like, okay, I'll come back and I'll play for about 2 hours, and then I'll get the recordings in. Then I looked at the clock, and it was 2.
What the fuck happened?
Yeah, I knew that would happen, but luckily I do feel like I'm more of a responsible adult these days. So after this, I've done the work. So I shaved, I put a nicer shirt on, and I mean, this isn't a nice shirt, but it's a nicer shirt than what I had on.
Something with holes and Cheeto stains on it.
That's not me. I think I would describe it as a more a less form-fitting shirt is a good way to describe it. It makes you look a bit frumpy. But I love that shirt. I truly do love that shirt. And so let's see. There's that. Also, when my parents have been doing the laundry, they kind of just do these extremes where it's just please stop fucking drying my dress shirts. Every time you dry one of my dress shirts, then I can't wear it anymore because it makes me look like a sausage packed too tightly. And now they're just not drying any of my shirts. So like that shirt needs to shrink. The shirt I love needs to shrink, but instead it doesn't shrink because all they do is they hang up my wet shirts. So anyway,
I think I accidentally shrunk the shirt and I only wore it one time. I'm like, God damn it.
So I've got a lot of awesome gaming in front of me. I'm hyped for you to finally see The Martian. In fact, I meant to check that before we actually got on.
Yeah, I was gonna
camera here.
Something about that.
Has it not? Jesus. Okay, I know I just said don't use the internet while, but like I gotta know at this point because it's just like that. I sent for that like 2 weeks before Christmas, 3 weeks before Christmas, if I actually remember correctly. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my, it's a Sunday. Anyway, so that I guess we'll get to you this week. And it was supposed to be there by the 11th, so this is the 15th we're recording this on.
You know what's weird though? Like I ordered a bunch of stuff on Amazon about a week or so ago, and it's been really slow too. So I don't know if, maybe there's something's going on. Who knows what it is? So
on top, I'm sure they have like back order stuff, and I guess that was back ordered, but like goddamn, goddamn you, Matt Damon. As far as movies go, I guess at this point I'm kind of just waiting for Doctor Strange to come out on Blu-ray. I have this inkling that I'm just going to love it so much that I'm probably just going to buy it, but I know that can often be a mistake. And then I guess I'm just waiting on Rogue One, which I might, to some, be a letdown, because, I don't know, maybe you want to share your opinion about it, but, like, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing you can really expect too much out of it, because, I mean, the issue is exactly how it's going to end, kind of. But not really, never mind. Strike that statement. I mean, it's like just because you know that it pretty much butts into episode 4.
Okay.
The journey to get there and how it does it is really good.
That is kind of some. I've avoided this one. I've avoided a lot on. Like you recently watched Independence Day 2. God only knows why.
Josh had it, and I was just we're talking about it. I'm like, I haven't seen it yet, and. Yeah,
I completely spoiled that for me, and actually even recently when I was on my overnight, I needed something to listen to while I was doing some work, and so I actually was scrolling and I found my one podcast, Kind of Funny, talking about Independence Day 2, and they just shredded it.
Oh, nice.
And that was the one I had listened to and spoiled it for myself, and
it's.
Listening to it again, I'm just like, man, I'm happy I didn't see this.
It's kind of funny how, describing episode 7 was a lot like episode 4, the Star Wars series, and how it has various elements to it. I feel like the second Independence Day was a lot of just rehashing of the original, especially like in how they take down the aliens. It's almost the exact same way. And the
part where they're just like, should we wait for the dog?
Well, in the first one, the ironic, brilliant part is when Jeff Goldblum's character is just like, we'll use our own signal against them the way we use ours against us. Holy shit! Pretty much the exact same thing happens in this one. He's like, we'll bait her like they baited us. It's like, oh.
They said they'd be back, and now they're back.
It's like, oh my god, and just the writing was bad. Like characters were popping up, and what was nice about the first one is like so many characters actually mattered. Every character that you saw on screen mattered. And
I heard there's like 90 characters, and like halfway through the movie, they're still introducing new characters.
Yeah, like Jeff Goldblum's dad, and he has no role in the movie at all. Like he doesn't do anything. Like in the first one, he had like that pivotal moment where he's just like, "Why didn't you catch a cold?" And it's just like, oh my god, like that gave him the idea and how they're.
Yeah, I heard he's like aliens. Driving a bus with like orphans,
school kids in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah,
like, and
that's my David. That's my David.
That's my David. Yeah.
So dumb.
It was bad. Do not watch it.
Yeah, the more I think about Jurassic World, the more I get disappointed too. And that they're
I got it for Christmas.
Oh boy,
Blu-ray. I'm curious to see which direction that's going to go. Supposedly, the second movie of that franchise is supposed to be also like really darker.
Oh yeah,
and from what I've heard, actually I don't even know who's like directing it or writing. But yeah, I heard it's supposed to be kind of like a darker twist to it. I believe because, I mean, in Jurassic World it talks about, using dinosaurs as weapons, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of that going on, testing with the animals and blah, blah, blah. And
interesting.
I think I'll definitely give that a shot when it comes out.
Okay, I mean, like Jurassic World, I'm not saying I regret seeing it in the theater. And I would not see Independence Day in the theater.
No.
Independence
Day. We both kind of wanted to, and then we're like, no, let's not.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, Jurassic World, I was happy to see in the theater. Would I do it again? Fuck no. No. But I would definitely see it on Blu-ray. Either way, I'd be pretty excited for that because no matter what, Chris Pratt and just Jurassic Park was still phenomenal.
They had a really good dynamic, Chris Pratt and
the dinosaurs.
Or what's her name? She's a Howard, the woman. What's her name?
Yeah, that
Howard.
I forget, but she was probably one of my bigger disconnects because she's running around the jungle in heels, and it's just like you work around dirt and jungle. You didn't think to like put a pair of tennis shoes in a filing cabinet at any point.
I mean, I think her role in the movie though, she's kind of just a like marketing or something like that. Yeah, it's Bryce Dallas Howard.
Even still, like you would think that like someone who hired her would be like, oh, and you're gonna need a pair of tennis shoes and like here's a bulletproof vest, just in case.
In case the dinosaurs learn how to shoot guns.
I mean, like they do actually walk around with guns. So, like, no matter what, technically, I think like any protocol or any safety protocol when you're around guns is to always have bulletproof vests for your employees. And so.
That's not a bad way of thinking.
So I like anyway, outside of that, like there were some other suspension of disbelief issues, but I don't think it anywhere near as bad as what I've heard for Independence Day 2. Outside of that, like there was something else I was hyped for. I don't know.
Something that was hyped this week was the Nintendo Switch. Have any thoughts about that?
Oh my god. If I had, so that actually perfect. Well done, Mark. The other thing I'm hyped for is I am going to restart 0 frames per second. It'll be a solo show where I'll basically ramble about particular topics. If I had started that show by now, which I won't for about another month and a half or so, I would have talked about the Nintendo Switch and how this Nintendo may very well be ending their hardware division with this.
That's right. I heard something like that.
They are. This conference literally was a demonstration of how unaware they are of the industry they work in.
Really?
In my opinion, yeah. Like I hate to be extremist because I feel like something in there sounds extreme, but I don't think it is. Typically, I'm a pretty tempered person about the things I say. But
I think the one thing I'm not sure which writer for which publication was, it said something like, well, I think Nintendo's about to go out the way Sega did, and like, like the Dreamcast, it went out with Division, but it looked good going out.
That I think is extreme. Nintendo still has good games. Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Smash Bros. These are still important games. And as long as Nintendo isn't the one like at the helm of how you control within those games and still wants to put those games on console or even on PC, then they're going to be fine. Sonic was good, but like what else was there?
It wasn't
there was Sonic, there was Aliens,
Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam and Earl, yeah.
I'm ever so upset I got rid of my Genesis and all my games
I think ours is still floating around here somewhere. We have an Atari. Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about hooking that up sometime. But come on. So basically, like, there is the screen and there are the two disconnectable controllers. Yes. Here is, I think, the highlight of the big disconnect. This a longer hype train for once. You're not for a couple of the games. They showed off, like, one of the highlights. One of the things they wanted to highlight was you're not even looking at the screen, and it's just like, I don't want to look at the person I'm playing with. Like, that is like old, and that's not the way I want to play video games.
Sure.
Like, if you want Nintendo, if you want to put out like some kind of Hungry Hippos kind of fucking thing, like, fine, then do that and make it $40. But so, like, one of these games is called 1-2 Switch, where it's kind of almost like a Wii Sports, but instead it's got, like, dueling at dawn kind of thing, where you have to draw, and it measures your reaction time down to, like, the millisecond, down to the 1000th millisecond. And it's just, like, doing this with you over and over and over. What is that?
They'll get old after about 20 seconds.
My arm just got tired there, and it's not because I'm out of shape. Actually, it is because I'm out of shape. It's because I live in pain. I say that enough on the show. I almost threw up. Anyway,
you gotta start controlling your bodily functions just a little bit more.
I can't. It's out of control these days, dude. Actually, that's another thing to be hyped about. Things are improving drastically. Again, so hopefully that stays that way. But yeah, it's just, they spent roughly a half hour explaining the controllers. Like
it seems kind of self-explanatory.
This is a Joy-Con stick. You use this to move. This is a Joy-Con shoulder button. Notice how when you slide it in, it connects to the console.
My God.
So, they're pretty fucking clueless, and yeah, I think this is, obviously I could be wrong. There could be a lot of interest in this, but, like, the Switch is going to cost $300. That comes with two Joy-Cons and the thing, I think, to set the Joy-Cons in to use it as a, like, Xbox looking controller. But then the Pro controller is like fucking, and I'm probably wrong on these prices, but I'm damn close. The Pro controller that is basically like purchasing a PlayStation controller. No, that's the Switch itself.
Oh, okay.
The Switch is literally just the device, and then you can take the screen and put it in the dock, and that allows you to play it on the TV.
There it is. All right.
So there's a separate controller that's an actual controller outside of the one you put the Joy-Cons into. And that's $90, I want to say. It's either 90 or 80. This is fucking $60 still. Why? Like, why? The dock, which has been identified as having the dock that you plug the screen into to use it on TV, has been identified as having no additional processing power. $90. So if you don't want to take the dock and its cords and disconnect it from the TV and the wall and move it to other rooms, and so you might want one or two more of those, $90. So, like, it's basically just a charging station. $90.
There's an HDMI cable on it.
additional Joy-Cons, which they continue to call it. $80.
They like those catchy names like Wiimote, Joy-Con.
One individual Joy-Con, $50.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely retarded. the one guy on my video game podcast, Kind of Funny, that I listen to often, and even Jim Sterling and even Total Biscuit, all of them had said, like, there is going to be something that is too expensive with this. Like, the Vita had these memory cards that were way too expensive, and it turns out with the Switch, the accessories are way too expensive. I was actually pretty excited for this because I like gaming on the go. I recently bought a portable monitor, a monitor that literally has legs that unfold and easily plugs into and can even be powered by a PS4 because I love gaming on the go. And yeah, I was excited for this, and now I actually have less interest than where they started. So.
I don't really have much of a input on it. Yeah. Like I'm just like
you just wanted to ask.
One of my a buddy of mine pre-ordered it. I think I saw on social media like a couple people pre-ordered it, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. Like I would not buy it.
It's possible that Nintendo fans could power this forward and help third parties get back into it. But like, no Assassin's Creed, no Call of Duty, no Destiny, no Division, no nothing. Literally, they're putting games that are 6 years old on the device. Like that's what third parties are doing. It's just like they don't have faith in this. That's not good. So
yeah, we'll see.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, we can talk as much as we want about it, but markets will be markets. So,
indeed.
All right, let's go ahead and move into the topic. That kind of got me depressed.